What's up, everybody? This is the DJI Air 2S, and it is currently my go-to drone. I love flying this thing. The 1-inch sensor is fantastic. This thing takes some pretty awesome pictures and video. So we've had this thing for a while, and we've accumulated a few accessories for it. Now, I did buy this with the Fly More combo. Now, I made a whole video about that, and how do you piece it together yourself? Is it really worth it? If you're looking for that video, check the link up there. But today I want to talk about the accessories that I use, why I use them, and why you might too. Now, this isn't just for the DJI Air 2S. Most of these accessories will also work just as well on the DJI Mavic Air 2. Some of these things are freebies, and some of these things will cost you a penny or two. Stay tuned, we'll learn all about them. The first thing that you probably want to invest in would be more batteries. Now, the DJI Air 2 battery and the Air 2S battery, same thing. And if you look at DJI's website, they're 115 bucks. But you can get them on Amazon for $94 if you're willing to go with a renewed battery. A lot of times that just means someone returned it. If you're not keen on buying renewed batteries, you can also get two for $216, again from Amazon. So buying from Amazon a lot of times is going to be a little bit cheaper, and if you have Prime shipping, it will also get to you a little bit faster. Okay, the next thing I suggest you do is you pick up a bag case or a backpack. This here is the case you get with the DJI Fly More combo, and it works okay, but it isn't what I would have chosen. I personally prefer the hard case. I got a nice hard case here for my DJI FPV drone, but really if you're looking for a hard case, the best one you can get is from Go Professional Cases, GPC. They make a dynamite case. It floats, it's waterproof, but unlike this one, which didn't cost me a whole lot, the Go Professional case could cost me more than 100 bucks. I've actually just been contemplating buying the foam insert. I can get one of those for $30, and then I take out my Mavic 2 Zoom, and then I put in my Mavic Air 2S. I guess that makes sense because I only need the case when I'm going out into the field. The drone can sit in that foam case on my shelf. There are also plenty of backpack options for you. I actually prefer the backpack when I'm flying other FPV drones because the components aren't exact. I can kind of mix and match in a backpack. Now, if you're looking for a case, whether it's a man purse, a hard case, or even a backpack, we've got links to all those things for you down below on Amazon, so you can kind of find what's best for you to transport your Air 2S. All right, next, let's talk filters. Now, if you get the Fly More combo, you get a set of filters from DJI, but if you didn't buy them and you're looking for something a little bit cheaper, there are other options. We get an ND4, 8, 16, and 32 from DJI, and these 4 filters will cost you $100. Freewell actually makes an inexpensive filter. Now, Chris has tested the heck out of filters. Plenty of videos that we've done on filters, and Freewell kind of prices out as a bang for your buck sort of filter. So yeah, I would recommend these Freewell filters, and I have flown them on my Air 2S. They have a similar pack to the DJI one. That's about $70, or if you want their all-day pack, it's $130. So you get an ND4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and they're all polarized as well, and you can kind of rotate the polarization if you need to. Looks like I actually have the 32 on my drone right now. You also get a circular polarized filter and an ND1000 and ND2000 filter. Now, these 1000 and 2000 filters are actually really nice if you want to try and get long exposure photos. I use the filters to help create the right motion blur effects by giving me a little bit longer of a shutter speed. Now, this isn't the video on how to use filters, but you definitely want them, and it is something worth looking into, especially if you want that cool motion blur effect. These little guys are the next thing that you're going to want to have for your Mavic Air 2 or Air 2S, and they are micro SD cards. These are the Sandisk Extreme cards. This red and gold kind of label is what you probably want to look for. I've been flying with a 32 gig, and I find that I probably wish I had a 64, especially when I'm shooting 5.4K footage. If you're shooting 4K footage or higher, it's going to take a lot more memory to do so, so you're going to want a larger card. Not in terms of size, but in terms of memory. So I'd suggest starting at 64. Now, a 64 gig card will cost you about 17 bucks. And then as you double that, you're going to increase the price of the card. A lot of times you can buy these things in packs of 3 to 5, not a bad idea. The next accessory that I recommend is also pretty darn small. It's a light. And if you want to fly at night, you have to have one of these, otherwise it's not a legal flight. That includes twilight, so if you're flying at dusk or dawn, you're gonna need one of these. So this is the Firehouse Arc V, and it's super lightweight, easy to use. You can stick this on pretty much any drone. You wanna stick this on the battery, not somewhere else, because you don't wanna cover up the GPS unit inside your drone. But if you wanna fly legally at night, you need to have one of these things on your drone. No, the light on the bottom does not work. No, the lights on your drone are not compliant. Now, Greg from the Pilot Institute did a great video, a great test comparing all the different lights. This is the one that he recommends. It's also the one that I recommend. Okay, my next suggestion is a freebie. Maybe if you have access to a 3D printer. You can see that I 3D printed a little extension so that I can fly with an iPad mini. Now, I was kind of disappointed with this remote initially when I found out that it wouldn't fit an iPad mini. But there are plenty of different mounts that you can buy that will work. Now, Chris has a mount specifically designed for this purpose, but I found that this 3D printed one works just as well. You know, if you want a mount, they're not expensive, $15, $25, $30, and you can get something that'll hold your iPad. Now, another potentially free accessory would be these clips to kind of hold the props in place. When I first saw the DJI Mini 2 had this, I thought that's totally unnecessary. And then I used it and I realized putting in and out of a bag, I don't have to worry about the props flopping all around. So I went on Thingiverse and I found this printed it off, and boom, now I have the same deal going with my Air 2S. Now, if you don't have access to a 3D printer, you can buy a clip like this. There's a nice silicone one on Amazon, costs you about 10 bucks. While I was on Thingiverse, I also printed out some extension legs for my Air 2S, but these things didn't quite work for me. I didn't like the way that it kind of landed. It didn't feel quite right. There are a lot of different leg extensions that you can buy, and I don't recommend you do any of them, especially stay away from any of them that say you can land on water. That is just asking for problems. Instead, I suggest you pick up one of these. This is a landing pad. They come in various different sizes, and we use these all the time. It's great for landing on grass, gravel, things like that. You don't want to land your drone in tall, wet grass. Get a landing pad. It's also something for you to see as you're coming down to land your drone. Landing pads are not expensive. You can get one for right around 20 bucks, give or take $5 or $10, depending on how big you want. I got this one from Freewell. Now, I don't think Freewell even makes landing pads anymore, but there are plenty of different options out there on Amazon from $15 to $30. All right, let's talk batteries again. If you have multiple batteries and you don't have a multi-charger, I suggest you pick one of these up. Now, this guy is the DJI multi-charger, and this is the one I would suggest you stick with, even though it's not gonna charge them all at the same time. I'm just reluctant to recommend aftermarket chargers for expensive batteries like these. While you're at it, I'd also recommend picking up a LiPo bag to store these guys in. I store most of my batteries either in LiPo bags or an ammo case. Even though this is a smart battery, you can never be too safe with LiPos. I've seen firsthand the damage that one of these things can do. Now, I don't often fly this drone indoors, but if that's something you plan on doing, I'd highly recommend picking up prop guards, especially if you fly around people. All right, there are two more things that I want to mention, and they're not things that I necessarily think you need to go out and get, but things that people ask me about. And the first one is people say, hey, Jack, you get all this great footage, how do you edit it? Specifically when people start editing in 4K or up, say 5.4, 6K, things get difficult if you don't have a powerful machine. Now, I actually use a gaming laptop. I found that gaming laptops oftentimes will have the performance of an editing laptop, but at a lower price point. I use the MSI GF65 Thin, and I absolutely love this thing. It's got an i7 processor, and it just rips through any video that I need to edit. Absolutely would recommend this thing. It is a laptop, it's portable, I take it with me. But a gaming PC or a gaming laptop is definitely an option if you need to upgrade and do some editing. You can get a laptop just like mine for between $1,300 and $1,500, depending on how large you need the hard drive. Make sure you get at least 16 gigs of memory. Mine has 32. All right, one more thing. If you got the Air 2S or the Mavic Air 2, I suggest you get your Part 107. If you plan to make money, if you plan to put videos on YouTube, really, you need to have the Part 107. It also opens your eyes to understanding a whole lot of the rules and regulations about flying a drone. Now, getting your Part 107 isn't easy, but it does open a whole lot of doors for you. Plus, it's really cool to say you got a license from the FAA. Yeah, I've got my remote pilot license. In all seriousness, it is a really good idea, but the content isn't easy. Chris actually took the test on the very first day it was available to the public, and he studied on his own. Now, we have all sorts of free materials if you want to go that route, but I actually recommend you get a little bit of help. I use the Drone Pilot Ground School, and it was fantastic. I've actually even used that material to help other people pass the test. We're talking about high school students. So if they can do it, you can do it too. So if you're looking for information on the Part 107, check out the link in the video description. Anyway, I hope some of this information was helpful. If it was, awesome. Give us a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. If it was not helpful, well, keep moving along and we'll do better next time. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, we do live streams where we give things away, and we give away a drone once a month to a Patreon subscriber. Again, information on that in the description down below. Hey, good luck everyone, and happy flying.